Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Aziz bin Zulfikri, and today me and my friends Harid and Nazima will be presenting to you about Chapter 6, starting a new venture, for subject ENT 530. Okay, for my part, I will be presenting to you about Section 1, Business Form and Governing Legislation. Okay, firstly, why you need to register as a business entity? Okay, when you register your business as a business entity, the business can gain more opportunities, especially in government and also for the business owner itself. Okay, before you register as a business entity, you need to know what kind of a business you want to venture. There are three types of business that a businessman or company can approach. Firstly is sole proprietorship. Second is partnership, and third is private limited company sendirian berhad. Okay, from these three type of business form, they have different governing legislation. Firstly, for sole proprietorship, uh, it is based on Registration of Business Act 1956, Amendment 1978. Next is partnership, based on Registration of Business Act 1956, Amendment of 1978, the same as sole proprietorship. While for private limited company, sendirian berhad, they have a different governing legislation. It is named as Companies Act 1965. Okay, so what are the differences between sole proprietorship, partnership, and private limited company? Okay, next, I will present you about factors in business form. Okay, for you to understand about these three kind of business, you need to know firstly the ownership. Second is the share of profit and losses. Third is the liability of owners. Fourth is management control. And five is the continuity of business. Okay, so for sole proprietorship, the ownership are one individual only, because sole proprietorship, sole means single. But for for partnership, the ownership is up to 20 individual, while for private limited company is up to 50 individuals. Okay, next is the share of profit or and losses. Okay, so for sole proprietorship, the owner receive all the profits and bear all the losses, because the business is single ownership. Okay, so next is for partnership. Okay, for share of profit and losses, the profit depends on amount of investment or as specified in partnership agreement. So example, if me as A, and then my partner B discuss to have maybe 50-50 in the business share. So the profit and losses will need to divide it 50%, 50%. So next is private limited company. Okay, it is based on shareholders, where the shareholders receive share of profit through dividend payouts. Okay, so if the dividend of the company, example, if the private limited company has almost 50 individuals, so the 50 individuals, maybe they have a different percentage of dividend or different percentage of share in the company. So if they contribute more share into the company, they will become the shareholders, and but the profit and losses needed to divide it based on the percentage of the share in the company. So next is the liability of owners. Okay, so liability of owners for sole proprietorship, it is unlimited liability extending to personal assets. So, for sole proprietorship, they have power to use how much asset that he or she need, because this business is only single owner. But for partnership, the limited liability unless otherwise specified in the partnership agreement. Okay, so if in the agreement, if the agreements stated that some assets can be used, so only that asset can be used. But if not specified in the agreement, it is unlimited liabilities. Okay, so next is private limited company. Okay, so for liability of owners, the shareholder liability limited to amount or share or capital contribution, because in private limited company, the shareholders contribute a certain sum of percentage or money for the company. So they can only use liability limited to the amount of share or the capital contribution. So next is the management control. So for sole proprietorship, owner makes all management decision and acts freely because this business is single business. So for partnership, all partners have equal control unless otherwise specified in a partnership agreement. Okay, so next is the private limited company for management control. So in the hands of a management team guided by a board of directors. Okay, so for a private limited company, they have a board of directors. The board of directors are chosen based on the person that contribute the most for the shares of the company. So so in the board of directors, they will need to discuss among the directors or among the people that contribute in the company how much of the control of the company. So they cannot do decisions freely. They need to discuss among their partners and also their shareholders to make a decision. So next is the continuity of business. So sole proprietorship. So the business will dissolve as the owner are not there or dead. Okay. So next is for partnership. So the death of any partner dissolve the business unless otherwise specified in a partnership agreement. So if one of the partners died, so the business, if stated in the agreement that the business will be continued by their waris or their family members, so the business will continue but in a new agreement. But if not stated, the business will be dissolved. So next is for private limited company. The death or withdrawal of shareholder has no effect on the existence of company. Okay, why? Because when the shareholders, some of the shareholders died, the percentage of the share in the company will be open for others to buy it. So if shareholder A died, so example, if he has 40% of the share in the company, so the 40% of the share will be open to other people unless as the family member bought it or etc. etc. So that's all for business form and legislation.
Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nuratul Nazima binti Zulkifli. Thank you to my team for explanation on section 1. So I'm going to brief or explain further about section 2, which is business licenses and permit. So we take a look what we have under business licenses and permit. So basically we have basic two business license categories. Number one is general business premise license and signboard license. Second is special license and permit. So there is some point that we can highlight under general business premise and signboard license, which is point number one is every business need to have a premise license and legally erect a business for the business permit. Second is license can be applied from the relevant local authorities. 3. premise license application often need to be accompanied by the premise certificate of document, fire department support letter, and premise rental agreement or sale purchase agreement that we have under the business. And number 4 is signboard license application need to be accompanied by the photograph of the proposed location of the signboard and sample of the signboard, including design and colors of the signboard. Next is special business license. Some categories of business require special license to enable them to carry out a specific business operation. For example, manufacturing, construction, retail, and wholesale. So we prepare one table, which is table 3, to summarize all these 3 categories of business which require special license needed to operate legally in Malaysia. Okay, the category number 1 is manufacturing. What we focus here, manufacturing license required for manufacturing business with at least 75 full-time employees. Apply for the license from Malaysian Investment Development Authority, which is MIDA. And then the second one is wholesale, retail, trading, import and export business. So they also require some license from wholesale and retail trade, WRT license. So license can be applied from the Ministry of Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs. So and the third one is business and construction. Need a specific license from the Construction Industry Development Board, CIDB, to undertake any building and construction activities. And next is business permit. What is business permit? Business permit allow a business to undertake certain business related activity that are regulated by governing authorities at federal, state or local level. So we prepare one table for you to summarize to see this by specifically on the example of business permit required by every business which carry out this kind of business. Let's take a look on the category. Number 1 is foreign worker entry permit. Every business allowed to have a business in Malaysia or in other country, but they need to bring in the country workers from other country to work in their business operation, but need to have permit for the foreign worker entry. Next is for retail sale event. Allow a retail or wholesale business to advertise and conduct a sale of goods at price below normal retail prices for a specific time frame. So this is what we have under section 2. So it's going to take a special license and permit, especially for those category that I mentioned. So as to operate legally in Malaysia. For section 3, it's going to brief by my team. Over to you, team. Thanks, everyone.
Hi, my name is Hari Shahmi and I will be explain to you about section 3, which is protecting intellectual property. Okay, we short form intellectual property with IP, words IMP. Okay, IP refers to the creation of minds such as invention, design, image and names used in commons. So IP basically is protected by the law, which is consists patents, copyrights, and trademark. Which this process enable people in the organization to protect their design, and of course their can give financial benefit to their organization. Okay. So, by striking the right balance between the interest of innovators and the wider public interest, the IP system aims to foster an environment in which creativity and invention can be flourished. So we go to the first one, patent. Okay, what is patent? Patent actually is an exclusive right granted for an invention. So the owner of the patent have right to decide on how or whether the invention can be used by other organization, maybe the small organization. So in the exchange of the right, the owner patent can make technical information about the invention publicly available in the published patent document. Okay, so for the patent owner can also choose to sell the patent of the organization to another party. Hence, they will serve all the rights to the invention that concern the patent. So that is the patent. So for the next one is copyright. Okay, copyright is a legal term used to describe the rights and creator have over their literary and artistic works. So works that cover by the copyright range from books. Copyright is used to protect a wide range of original, creative, intellectual or artistic works or authorship. This is also can be include of the original work of an organization. Okay, so the idea behind the creative work itself not protected as such as some else can use the same idea, but it must be significantly different form or composition so as to the not infringe of an existing copyright. So this function of copyright is to protect the original design of an organization, so others competitor cannot copy what the design has been made. So a copyright can be exist up to 50 years after the death of registered number. So the symbol C square itself showed that it is universally used, and that we can understand that the name that consists this symbol is denoted by the copyright. Okay, so for the next we go to the trademark or brand. Okay, trademark are any distinct name, mark, symbols, words, shapes and color. So a trademark sometimes also refer to a brand that indicate the distinct and representation of a company. So in Malaysia, it is not compulsory to register a trademark, but a company can still rely on the common law to protect against infringement or imitation. So what we can understand here, in Malaysia, they are not compulsory to register a trademark for their each organisation, but there are law that can protect them against other competitor or other situation that can be copied the design itself. Okay, so symbols used to indicate the trademark include indicate and TM. TM means unregistered trademark. So there's a two symbol in trademark, which is TM or R square. So TM for unregistered trademark, R shows that is a registered trademark. Okay, actually where we can register the IP? So in Malaysia, we have my IPO, which is Intellectual Property Corporation of Malaysia. So we can go there and register a patent, copyright and trademark in that organization. So for company international, we have WIPO, which is World Intellectual Property Organization. Lastly, for the summary of this chapter, so let me make it short. Okay, in order to start a new venture and new business, so entrepreneur must make a good decision regarding the fundamental of issues such as form of business registration, like Zik told, if we want to do partnership or cooperation and many others. Other than that, an entrepreneur must understand the business license as well. Also, not license, permit that needed to operate legally, as well as to protect the IP, protecting intellectual properties. So for making this decision is informed manner, and is important to ensure that a business organization structure can operate legally and optimize its entrepreneurial opportunities. So that's all from me. Thank you for your time listening, and I hope you guys understand it well. Thank you.